So, silver, what a journey it's on. Feeling really good to own silver right now. But, as you can see, lurking beneath this beautiful, cool silver ingot is some gold. Don't discount gold, because it feels like gold right now is discounted compared with silver. If, like me, you've been stacking silver for a long time, be really honest with yourself. Are you buying more of it right now, or are you just sitting back and enjoying the first-class rocket trip that we might be on to the moon? I think a lot of people would agree with me that silver feels a little bit expensive, certainly compared with how it used to be. But gold, now that's starting to feel a little bit cheap right now. And maybe it's time to look at gold instead of silver. I mean, I could be completely wrong. Filming this a couple of days before it's published, who knows where silver will be? Quite possibly in the stratosphere. So let's find out what's better, silver or gold, right now. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to another precious metal ramble. Now, I'm filming this video on a Thursday because, as you may have heard over the last couple of weeks, I've got a pretty horrible cold and it's just not going away. So I'm going to try and get like 5-6 days before Christmas just doing nothing. And so I wanted to film this a little bit ahead of time. But of course, I have no idea where the markets are going to end up by the end of the weekend. Or end of the week, I should say, into the weekend. So it's anybody's guess as to where silver price will be. But it's been flirting with £50 an ounce. We can see, I think, on last I checked anyway, it was £49.99 as a high here in the UK, which is pretty incredible, really. Now, you'll notice, though, I haven't got any silver out here on the table. I don't think there's actually any silver in this box. This is just my little gold filming box that I have little bits of gold around to have out and film with. And I guess part of the reason for that, part of the design of that, oh look, I do have some silver out here on my table. I've got an ingot of silver that I got ages and ages ago. But part of my reasoning for having no silver other than this, just to have gold, is because gold is still really good. And actually right now, I'm feeling like gold is actually quite cheap compared with silver. So I wanted to do a little bit of a chat about the fact that silver is getting to a point where it's pretty high and it feels high. But is it too high? I'm not sure it's quite there yet in terms of being too high. Now, I do want to caveat this video by saying I don't know where things are going to go. I don't know where the markets are going to be. And I am absolutely quite happy just to sit here and be completely wrong if silver does continue to rise to $100 an ounce plus, and we all just sit here laughing on our laurels of owning large bits of silver. But at the same time, I will always, and have always on this channel, talk about responsible investing and having an air of caution. Now, I did a video on, it was actually filmed it yesterday. It went out the day I'm filming today's video, but it was out on Thursday last week, a little bit of a roundabout way, saying that there are people out there who are buying bits of silver on the likes of eBay for over £2,000 a kilo. And people are buying silver coins for £60 an ounce, which, when you put in the context of spot price being £50 an ounce, doesn't actually seem that bad. But there might well be a correction at some point that happens. And I just want people to be aware and understand that the long-term investing, the long-term holding of silver is a much, much more safe thing to do than trying to speculate on silver. And if you're going to do a really long-term hold, then you might want to think about gold rather than silver. Now, hear me out, because look, I know everybody's mad for this stuff right now. I know everybody's going crazy thinking that if they don't get it now, it's going to be unobtainable. But at some point, there will be a correction, and that correction will affect silver before it affects gold. And if you're speculating on this stuff, it's a recipe for potential risk. And potential risk is something that you have to take really seriously as an investor. Now, if you are in this for a long haul, then you're probably going to be just fine regardless of whatever decision you make. If you're buying at £2,000 a kilo right now for silver, sure, that's fine. You could potentially get a better price right now, but if you're forced to sell in a few months' time, you might be up the brown creek without a paddle. But if you're going to hold it for years and years and years, you're probably going to be just fine.
We are very proudly sponsored by Trusty Metrics, who are the UK's exclusive supplier of the Sigma precious metal testing machines. They are fantastic bits of kit, worth their weight in gold in my opinion. They've helped me grow my business and my stack and have that peace of mind that all the gold and silver that I own and that I buy is indeed real gold and silver. Something that if you're a business is imperative, but if you're a stacker, that peace of mind, as I said, is worth its weight in gold. Now, Trusty Metrics are a fantastic organization, a small family-run business that provides customer service second to none. And I have first-hand experience of getting their technical help and expertise when I've been trying to test big chunky bars of silver like this, or just getting to grips with how the machines run. They are always there. I mean, they've been fantastic for me, even on weekends, to get prompt answers for just simple queries. They are a non-pushy organization, and they have and continue to work with businesses and investors to make sure that the machines that they get are right for them. So if you're interested, you can go and see their website with the full range of machines that they have on offer. And if you're interested, reach out to them and tell them that Backyard Bullion sent you their way. Thank you once again to Trusty Metrics for sponsoring our channel. And now back on with our precious metal ramble.
And I always like to, this is one of the reasons why I keep this as a little fidget piece on my desk, because I got this back in like early 2018. It was one of the first batches of silver I got from the European Mint and for my poured silver business. And this came in and I was like, oh, I just can't melt this. This is just so cool. It's silver shot, of course, that's not quite shotified. Is that a word? It is now. And for me, I was like, well, I'm just going to keep it because I have no idea how much it weighs. I haven't got, I do have some scales out here, but I think these scales only go up to like 100 or 200 grams. So let's have a look, see how much it weighs. It goes up to 200 grams. So let's see if this is above 200 grams or not. Probably is. Yeah, it's over 200 grams. So, you know, for me to keep this, there's like, well, at the time it was probably like 100 quid to 200 quid, something like that to keep it. But now this is worth like 500 quid probably. So the idea of keeping something for a long term is a personal decision, a personal choice, but you can't go far wrong with it. But if you're in the short term, that irresponsibility that I do see creeps out for a lot of people, you are potentially setting yourself up for issues when it comes to silver. And the problem with silver is its taxable status. Now that works to one's advantage if you are able to buy silver at spot price. If you're blessed in such a transaction that you can find it, and it's good silver at spot price, I would say. So when I say good silver, I don't mean like 50% old silver coins from the UK pre-47, because those, if you're buying them at spot price, you're overpaying, quite frankly, because nobody wants them. They're really awkward coins to sell. And if you are getting 999 fine silver, certainly things like Britannia's at spot price, you can make a lot of money, and people do. And that's one of the ways that businesses make money. One of the ways the bullion dealers make money. They'll sell the silver. Well, they'll probably pay you a little bit more than spot right now. Most dealers will pay a little bit above it, but they'll pay you above spot price for those Britannias, and then they'll go and flog them for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds an ounce profit. So if you can get it for spot, you're in. But if you're buying it for 10 pounds over, you got to wait, unless you're taking that effort and energy to do it yourself and to get that return out at the other side. So it's really tough for the silver world right now in terms of knowing what the right price is, because I mean, I thought it was too high at 40 pounds an ounce. I thought it was too high at 45, but we're now nearly at 50. And in many ways, I do think that's quite expensive. There's certainly questions, and I'm going to be doing a video in between Christmas and New Year, which basically just is a year in review for me, because in many ways this year has been an incredible year, of course, for silver price. But from a business perspective, we are having a little bit of a hard year in terms of like ability to do business. But I'll talk more about that when we get to the video that I want to talk about, because this meteoric rise in silver is causing issues, not just for my business, but for a lot of other businesses out there. And I don't know how sustainable that is. And it's going to be quite interesting to see how it goes. Am I worried? No, but more on that when we go. But I guess my overarching point is, even though there are problems in business, just holding this stuff makes me feel really good. And that's why I really do think gold is deserving of a second look right now. I'm not saying that you should just ignore silver and only buy gold, but right now you can buy gold super cheap, super easy, and super liquid. And that is the best thing, I think, especially when we're gearing up for, at some point, when that will be, I don't know, at some point there will be a shift, a rotation in that affordability, in that, or what's the word, priceability. That's not even a word, but it is now. There will be some movement that means that gold is the favorite for the big boys. And when that kicks in, we'll see a shift. And remember, there's a really incredible phrase that needs to be reiterated to people. Gold is the currency of nations, and silver is the currency of the people. And nations move the needle much more than the people do. Now, yes, there are industrial applications for silver, and I keep seeing lots of people talking about the comments on YouTube about all of the new nuclear plants that are going to be made that need lots of silver, 56,000 ounces per nuclear plant, and there's 350 being built. That's nothing. That's small fry. That is absolutely teeny tiny amounts of silver in the grand scheme of things. What about all of the solar energy that's going to be required for silver? Yeah, definitely. And there is industrial demand for it. Is it going to make silver quadruple from where we are today? I'm not entirely sure about that. Will I be sad if I'm wrong? No. And I do want to just also talk a little bit about, I've made lots of videos in my past about how $100 silver is never going to happen. Maybe I'm wrong. I think I made a video, it was around about like 2021, I think, when there was like the silver squeeze, the stupid silver squeeze movement when people thought they could corner the market. And people were like, yeah, we're going to get $100 silver tomorrow. It's going to be great. And I'm like, if that happens, I'll eat my hat. Am I a little bit worried that I'm going to have to start eating a hat? No. I think a lot has changed since then. I think I still stand completely valid and verified by saying that at that particular time, the people doing the silver squeeze were dumb, they were irresponsible, and they were calling for things that just were never going to happen. But there has been a big shift in the world right now. In this last 6 months, there has been a huge shift in the world. And that is not going to change. So a new norm has been set. Can I see $100 silver? Yes. Is it likely in the short term? No, but in a sustained next couple of years. Could I see it even next year? Yeah, maybe. Will it sustainably stay at $100 an ounce? I'm not sure. Will it get there and come back down again? Probably. If you look at charts, we're in a big peak right now. Somebody's going to get left holding the bag, and hopefully that won't be you. So there we go. There are my thoughts. Hopefully we'll have some semblance of normality resuming after Christmas into New Year. We'll see. But I hope I can shift this bloody cold. I've literally 3 weeks. I think I've had colds back to back. Oh, the joys of having young kids at this time of year. You just pick up every single bug when they go to nursery. But anyway, that is it from me. We'll see you on the next video. I have not forgotten about the cool kids. It's just been a crazy couple of weeks, both from work, health, been in bed most of the time that I'm not working, and of course family. So I have not forgotten about the Cool Kids Club giveaway. We're going to roll it over and we're going to do 2 separate winners for silver at the end of the year. We're going to do a Yenvia special and do that. So thank you for you cool kids for watching. If you haven't watched already, just say, if you haven't commented, I'm almost like in a daze with this bloody cold. If you haven't already commented with something cool, your Cool Kid Club phrase is the European Mint Nugget. That's your phrase to be in with a chance to win some silver at the end of the year. That's it from me. I'm going to go get back into bed and try and get rid of this bloody cold. And we'll see you on the next video, which is going to be Christmas Eve, and it will be a little bit of a year in review for me. So we'll see you next time. As always, please make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.